Hi, I'm Edmund White. I'm a field product manager here at AvePoint.
Hi, I'm Shirley Zay. I'm a product manager here at AvePoint as well.
And today we're here to talk to you about permissions management in SharePoint. So when we talk to our customers, it's got to be the number one issue that comes up is permissions management in SharePoint. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And I think one of the main reasons is because permissions management is such a large problem if you have a big organization. Trying to understand who does what and trying to get them the right permissions is always top of mind for administrators in any size organization.
One of the things natively in SharePoint is the decentralized aspect of it. So if you want to change permissions, you got to go into the container where those permissions are, and you really don't get a holistic view.
So one of the biggest complaints that we hear from talking to our customers is permissions management, and one of the reasons why that's the number one complaint is because oftentimes permissions management comes in second thought after SharePoint has been implemented. So a lot of times users, when they're collaborating and using SharePoint in that particular way, permissions are elevated when they're not supposed to, or they're given permissions for certain things that they're not supposed to have. So that's probably one of the great reasons that we hear for why people are having issues with permissions in SharePoint right now.
Absolutely. So IT staff is trained in least access, right? But end users really aren't. So this insider threat that we're hearing is oftentimes not malicious. So we end up running into scenarios at customers where the IT staff is actually going in manually through every object in SharePoint to discover what the permissions are so that they can reapply a permissions policy or discover any potential breaches, which, because of the decentralization of SharePoint, is a massively time-consuming and manual process.
So in security search, it's as easy as going into our tool, pulling out the scope that you want to run the search on, finding those that you want to find their permission levels for, and if you want to schedule those searches to run every day or every week and get them exported into your SharePoint library for those for the users that you want to see their permissions for. And so with those security search results, you're able to also bulk update and make changes to many people and many users at the same time instead of clicking through one at a time to make the changes that you want.
Yeah, absolutely. So for example, if I'm concerned with the sites owned by HR, I can select those as a scope. And then maybe I'm only interested in seeing who has full control there. So I can run a report just specifically for that. Evaluate whether those people, if those are appropriate permissions, and then make my changes in bulk.
So in this particular demo that we're going to show you, we're going to take that question about how to not breach ethical walls. So like what Edmund was saying, if you're not from the HR department, you're technically not supposed to see what's in your HR site. So we'll run a quick demo to show you how to do that in security search. In this demo, I want to show how the security search in DocAv Administrator can be a really powerful tool to detect a breach in ethical walls. Ethical walls are in place for most organizations because there's a need to block sensitive information from being seen by unauthorized users. One of the most common ethical wall scenarios companies face is a need to limit the audience of a site to those who are One of the most common ethical wall scenarios companies face is a need to limit the audience of a site to those who are unauthorized. For example, as a part of its function, HR regularly handles highly sensitive and confidential information that shouldn't be available to the wider company. Therefore, it is imperative for the IT administrator group to do frequent checks on who has access to the HR site and perform the necessary cleanup to maintain the appropriate boundaries set up by the company. This is where DocAv Administrator Security Search can come in handy, and let me show you how. This is where DocAv's Security Search can come in handy, and let me show you how it can help. What you're seeing here is a main page once you log into DocAv under the administrator What you're seeing here once you log into DocAv is the main page for the administration module. In a single pane, as an admin, I can see my entire SharePoint farm and perform a search on a specific scope. So sticking with my previous example of limiting the HR sites collection to those only in HR, let me find the HR site collection to perform the security search. And here it is. Within the security search, I'm going to choose the form mode. In this form, I want to enter in the name of the search. So I'm going to put in HR permission check. Then I can look for the specific users that you want to perform the security search on, or I can just look for any user that matches these permissions within the scope I selected. On the search level, I need to define the SharePoint object level I want to perform the check on. In this case, it's the HR site collection, which I've selected here. If I wanted to perform a search on a site collection with a specific set of conditions, I can define it in the filter policy here. And as you can see, there are many conditions that I can filter on. And that's really all I need to do to set the security search up. So what I'm going to do is save and run now. And let's go and see the results. Through the results of the search, I can see who has permissions to the HR group and the types of permissions that groups and users have within the HR site collection. I can see that the accounting SharePoint group has edit permissions, which is a definite breach of ethical walls as defined by my company. Therefore, I need to perform remediating actions to remove this group's access and permission from the HR site collection. Or better yet, I can use Policy Enforcer in DocAv Administrator to set up rules that detect and prevent certain users or groups from being added to the HR site collection at all. Once a rule is set up when a user is added that is outside of the established corporate policy and that user does not belong into the HR group, Policy Enforcer can flag the violation and automatically revert the out-of-policy permission change and notify those who need to know what just happened. If you're looking for more information, please make sure to check out AvePoint.com. Looking forward to working with you soon.
It's going to be tough on the outtake part.
What do you mean? It's because I have no emotion from you.
Oh, snap!
It's because I'm dead inside.